The alarm screamed through the medical bay of the Mercy Dawn. Dr. Hana ran down the bright corridor, her white coat flying behind her. Her heart pounded in her chest. Behind her, young Jiho struggled to keep up, carrying the emergency surgical kit. "Doctor, what's happening?" Jiho asked, breathing hard. "Emergency transport. Alien patient." "Critical condition," Hana said quickly. She pushed through the double doors into the operating theater. The room was huge and cold, filled with strange alien medical equipment that glowed blue and green. On the transport bed lay Veltar, a massive creature covered in dark gray fur. The alien was nearly 8 feet tall even lying down. Its chest rose and fell in quick, desperate movements. Strange purple blood leaked from its side, staining the white sheets. Next to the bed stood a smaller version of Veltar. The cub was only 4 feet tall, with lighter gray fur and bright yellow eyes. Those eyes were wide with fear. The cub's small hands gripped the edge of the bed so tightly that its claws dug into the metal. "Please," the cub said in broken human language. "Save parent, please." Hana moved to the bed quickly. Her trained eyes scanned the patient. She had studied alien biology for years, but each species was different. Veltar's species was rare in this part of space. She had only read about them in medical texts. "Minji, get the scanners ready," Hana called out. A young nurse with short black hair rushed to the control panel. Her fingers danced over the buttons, and holographic images appeared above the patient, showing the inside of Veltar's body. "Dae-hyun, I need full power to the surgical systems," Hana ordered. A thin man with glasses nodded and ran to the power controls. The lights in the room grew brighter and more machines hummed to life. Jiho stood frozen near the door. He was 21 years old and had graduated from the medical academy only 3 months ago. This was his first real emergency. His hands shook as he held the surgical kit. "Jiho." Hana's voice was calm but firm. "I need you here. Now." The young man snapped out of his fear and moved to Hana's side. He carefully unpacked the surgical instruments, laying them out in perfect order. His academy training took over and his hands stopped shaking. The holographic scan showed the problem. Something inside Veltar had ruptured. Strange organs that humans didn't have were failing. Purple blood filled the chest cavity. Without surgery, the alien would die in less than an hour. "We need to operate immediately," Hana said. She looked at the cub. "I promise we'll do everything we can." The cub nodded slowly, tears running through its fur. It stepped back but didn't leave the room. Its yellow eyes never left its parent. Hana scrubbed her hands and arms at the cleaning station. The antiseptic solution burned her skin, but she didn't care. Jiho did the same next to her. Minji helped them into their surgical gowns and gloves. "Doctor," Minji said quietly, "the Alien Medical Council is on the communication channel. They want to send their own surgeons." Hana shook her head. "No time. Tell them we're already beginning." She knew the alien surgeons looked down on human doctors. They thought humans were too new to space, too fragile, too emotional. But right now, she was the only surgeon on this ship who could start immediately. The surgery began. Hana made the first cut with a laser scalpel. The skin opened cleanly, revealing the strange anatomy inside. Purple blood welled up and Minji quickly used suction devices to keep the area clear. "Jiho, I need retractors," Hana said. The young man handed her the curved metal instruments. She placed them carefully, holding the incision open so she could see inside. Veltar's body was nothing like a human's. The organs were in different places. Some were shapes she had never seen before, but Hana had studied for this. She had spent years learning alien medicine because she believed all life was worth saving. "The main blood vessel is damaged here," she said, pointing with a gloved finger. "We need to repair it before we can fix anything else." Her hands moved with practiced skill. She tied off bleeding vessels. She repaired torn tissue. Jiho assisted her, handing her instruments before she even asked for them. For a new graduate, he had good instincts. An hour passed. Then 2. The surgery was going well. Veltar's vital signs were improving. The monitors showed the aliens' hearts, yes, plural, 3 of them, beating stronger. Hana smiled behind her surgical mask. They were going to make it. She reached for another instrument, then the pain hit her. It started in her head. A sudden sharp agony like nothing she had ever felt. The room spun. Her vision blurred. She tried to speak, but no words came out. "Doctor?" Jiho's voice sounded far away. Hana's legs gave out. She felt herself falling. The last thing she heard was the cub's terrified howl and the crash of surgical instruments hitting the floor. When her eyes closed, she didn't see the panic in the operating room. She didn't see Jiho's face turn white with fear. She didn't see Minji rush to catch her before she hit the ground. She didn't see the Alien Medical Council's holographic faces appear on the screens, their expressions full of judgment. She didn't see the cub's yellow eyes change from fear to something else, something fierce, something that would not accept failure. The monitors beeped frantically. Veltar still lay open on the table, the surgery unfinished. Hana lay on the floor unconscious, her own body in crisis, and young Jiho stood between them, trembling with surgical tools still in his hands. The doors to the operating theater opened. 3 tall alien surgeons entered, their many-jointed limbs clicking as they moved. Their faces showed disgust. Humans, one of them said with contempt. Too weak for real medical work. Step aside, young one. We will finish this. But before Jiho could move, a growl filled the room. It was deep and primal, a sound of pure rage. The cub stood in front of the doors, blocking the alien surgeons. Its small body shook with fury. Its claws extended fully. No, the cub snarled. Its broken human language was suddenly clear, strengthened by emotion. Humans continue. Scalpels out. We're not losing her. Either of them. The alien surgeons stopped. They looked at each other in confusion. A cub was defying them. This was unheard of. Jiho looked at the cub. He looked at Hana on the floor. He looked at Veltar on the table. His mind raced. He was just a graduate. He had never led a surgery. He had never been in charge of anything this important. But the cub believed in them. In him, in humans. Jiho took a deep breath. His hand stopped shaking. He looked at Minji. Get Dr. Hana onto the secondary table, he said. His voice was steady now. Monitor her vitals. Taehyun, I need you to override the alien medical AI. Give me direct control of all systems. He turned to the alien surgeons. You heard the patient's family member. Leave now. The real test was about to begin. The alien surgeons didn't move. They stood at the doorway, their tall bodies blocking the light from the corridor. Their faces showed anger and disbelief. The lead surgeon, a creature with blue skin and 4 arms, stepped forward. This is unacceptable, it said. Its voice was cold and sharp. A human juvenile cannot perform surgery on a dignitary. The medical council has sent us to take over. The cub growled louder. Its yellow eyes blazed with fury. Small as it was, the cub's presence filled the room. Its teeth showed sharp and white. The claws on its hands dug into the floor, leaving scratch marks on the metal. My parent wanted human doctors, the cub said. Each word came out like a bark. Parent said humans have something you don't. Something called heart. You leave now. The blue-skinned surgeon made a clicking sound of irritation. Young one, you don't understand. Humans are fragile. Look, their own doctor has collapsed. They cannot handle the stress of real medical work. They are children playing in an adult's world. Jiho felt those words like a slap. His face burned with anger and shame. Part of him wanted to agree. He was young. He was inexperienced. Hana had collapsed, proving the alien's point about human fragility. But then he looked at the surgical table. Veltar's chest was still open. Purple blood pooled slowly around the retractors. The monitors showed the alien's 3 hearts beating weaker now, growing tired. If someone didn't continue the surgery soon, Veltar would die. And Hana lay on the secondary table where Minji had placed her. The nurse had attached monitoring equipment to Hana's body. The screen showed strange brain activity, patterns that shouldn't be there. Something was very wrong inside Hana's head. 2 patients, 2 lives, both depending on him. Daehyun, Jiho said quietly. Can you lock the operating theater doors? The thin man with glasses looked up from his control panel. He understood immediately. His fingers flew over the controls. The doors slid shut with a heavy thunk. A red light appeared above them, indicating a lockdown. The alien surgeons were now trapped outside. They could be heard shouting and banging on the door. Their voices were muffled but angry. Threats and warnings echoed through the metal. The council will hear about this, the blue-skinned one yelled. You will be expelled from the medical service. Humans will be banned from all hospitals. The cub turned away from the door. It looked at Jiho with those bright yellow eyes. Ignore them, the cub said. Save parent. I believe in you. Jiho took a deep breath. He walked back to the surgical table. His legs felt weak, but he forced them to move. He picked up the instruments that had fallen when Hana collapsed. His hands were shaking again. "Minji," he called out. "What's Dr. Hana's status?" The nurse checked her monitors. Her face was worried. "Her brain is showing unusual activity. It looks like some kind of neurological event, maybe a stroke or an aneurysm. I've stabilized her breathing and heart rate, but I don't know what's causing the brain patterns. Can you keep her alive while I finish with Veltar?" Minji nodded firmly. "Yes, I'll watch her closely." "Daehyun, did you override the alien AI?" The technician gave a thumbs up. "Done. You have full control of all medical systems. The alien protocols are offline. I've switched everything to human-compatible settings." Jiho looked down at Veltar. The huge alien's face was peaceful despite the surgery. Its fur was matted with antiseptic solution. Its breathing was shallow. "Okay," Jiho said to himself. "Think, what would Dr. Hana do?" He closed his eyes for a moment. He remembered his training. He remembered every lesson, every lecture, every practice surgery on simulation dummies. He remembered Hana's voice in the classroom. Medicine isn't about memorizing facts. It's about understanding life. Every species wants to live. Every body tries to heal itself. Our job is to help that process. He opened his eyes. His hands were steady now. "Let's continue," he said. Jiho positioned himself at the table. He looked at the open chest cavity. Hana had already repaired the main damage, but the surgery wasn't complete. Several blood vessels still needed to be sealed. Some torn tissue needed to be stitched. And most importantly, he had to close the incision properly. But as he worked, he noticed something strange. Veltar's blood wasn't clotting the way the medical texts said it should. The alien's body was responding differently than expected. "This doesn't match the textbooks," he muttered. The cub moved closer. It stood on its hind legs, trying to see over the edge of the table. "What's wrong?" "The blood? It's not behaving correctly. According to our medical data, your parent's species should have faster clotting factors. But this is slow. Too slow." The cub made a thoughtful noise. "Parent is old, very old. Body works different than young ones." Jiho's mind raced. The medical texts were based on studying younger, healthier members of Veltar's species. But Veltar was elderly. Of course, the body would work differently. Just like elderly humans had different physiology than young ones, he needed to adapt. He couldn't follow the textbook. He had to trust his instincts. "Daehyun, increase the temperature in the surgical field by 3 degrees, Jiho ordered. "Elderly bodies often need more warmth to help healing." "Adjusting now," Daehyun replied. Jiho changed his technique. Instead of using the fast sealing methods the texts recommended, he used slower, gentler approaches. He treated Veltar's aged body with the same care he would use on an elderly human. And it worked. The blood began clotting better. The tissues responded to his sutures. The monitors showed improvement. The cub made a happy chirping sound. "Heart stronger. You doing it?" "You fixing, parent?" Minji called out from the other table. "Jiho, Dr. Hana's condition is changing. The brain activity is spiking." Jiho's heart jumped. He wanted to run to Hana's side, but he couldn't leave Veltar mid-surgery. He was at the most delicate part now, sealing the chest cavity. "Can you stabilize her?" he asked. "I'm trying, but I don't know what's wrong with her." "I've never seen brain patterns like this," the cub suddenly spoke. "I smell it. Human brain is fighting itself. Chemical wrong. Balance wrong." Jiho looked at the cub in surprise. "You can smell that?" "My species has strong nose. We smell chemicals, emotions, sickness. Human doctor has too much of one chemical, not enough of another in brain." That gave Jiho an idea. "Minji, check her neurotransmitter levels. It might be a chemical imbalance causing a seizure or cascade failure." The nurse quickly ran the tests. Her eyes went wide. "You're right. Her serotonin levels are critically low, and her cortisol is way too high. It's causing her neurons to misfire. Can you correct it?" "Yes, I can administer balancing drugs." "But Jiho, how did you know?" "I didn't," Jiho admitted. "The cub told me." The alien surgeons were still pounding on the door. Their voices were hoarse from shouting. The medical council had contacted the ship's captain. Threats were being made. The humans would face serious consequences for this defiance. But inside the operating theater, something remarkable was happening. Jiho's hands moved with growing confidence. Minji balanced Hana's brain chemistry, and the dangerous patterns began to stabilize. Daehyun kept all systems running perfectly, and the cub watched over everything, its keen senses alerting them to problems before the machines could detect them. They were working together, human and alien, experienced and inexperienced. technology and instinct. It was messy and improvised and nothing like proper medical procedure, but it was working. Jiho placed the final suture in Veltar's chest. He closed the incision carefully, making sure every layer was properly aligned. He stepped back and checked the monitors. All 3 hearts were beating strong and steady. Blood pressure was good. Oxygen levels were rising. The surgery was complete. "We did it," Jiho whispered. He couldn't believe it. "We actually did it," the cub howled with joy. It was a sound of pure happiness that made everyone in the room smile despite the stress. The small creature jumped up and down, its tail wagging, but they weren't done yet. Hana still lay unconscious on the other table. Jiho walked over to her. Minji had done excellent work. Hana's brain activity was normalizing. Her vital signs were improving. The chemical balance was being restored. "She's going to be okay," Minji said with relief in her voice. "But she'll need rest. Whatever caused this could happen again." Jiho nodded. He felt exhausted. His legs wanted to collapse. His hands were cramping from gripping the surgical tools so tightly, but he stayed standing. He had to see this through. The pounding on the door stopped. An eerie silence filled the corridor outside. Then a new voice came through the communication system. It was deeper, older, filled with authority. "Open this door immediately. This is Council Leader Thex. You will face judgment for your actions." The real consequences were about to begin. Jiho looked at Daehyun. The technician's hand hovered over the door controls. Fear showed clearly on his face. Everyone knew that defying the medical council was serious. Careers could end. Humans could be banned from practicing medicine in this sector of space. "Wait," came a weak voice. Everyone turned. Hana's eyes were open. She lay on the secondary table, still connected to monitoring equipment, but she was awake. Her face was pale and sweat covered her forehead, but her eyes were alert. "Doctor?" Jiho rushed to her side. "Don't move. You need to rest. You had some kind of neurological event." Hana tried to sit up, but Minji gently pushed her back down. "The young man is right. Your brain chemistry went completely wrong. We've stabilized you, but you're not ready to move yet." "Veltar?" Hana asked, her voice hoarse. "Alive," Jiho said with a tired smile. "Surgery complete. All 3 hearts beating strong." Hana's eyes filled with tears. "You finished it? By yourself?" "Not by myself," Jiho looked at the others. "We all did it together." The pounding on the door started again, louder than before. Council Leader Thex's voice boomed through the speakers. "I will not ask again. Open this door or I will have it cut open. Your human captain has authorized us to take control of this operating theater." The cub growled and positioned itself in front of both surgical tables. Its small body trembled with protective fury. "No one touches my humans," it snarled. Hana heard those words. "Your humans?" she asked softly. The cub nodded firmly. "You saved parent. You are pack now. Family. We protect family." Despite everything, Hana smiled. "Daehyun, open the door." "But doctor," Minji protested. "Open it," Hana repeated. "We have nothing to hide. We saved a life. 2 lives, counting me. Let them come in." Daehyun pressed the control. The door slid open with a hiss. The alien surgeons practically fell into the room they had been pushing so hard. Behind them stood Council Leader Thex, a massive creature that resembled a walking tree with too many branches. Its bark-like skin was deep brown and its many eyes glowed with anger. "Explain yourselves," Thex demanded. "You locked out council-authorized medical personnel. You performed surgery without proper oversight. The council leader stopped. Its many eyes had seen Veltar on the table, chest properly closed, monitors showing healthy vital signs. Then it saw Hana on the secondary table, also stabilized. "You completed both procedures?" Thex's voice held surprise. "Yes," Jiho said. He stood straight despite his exhaustion. "I completed the surgery on Veltar. Nurse Minji stabilized Dr. Hana. Technician Daehyun provided system support. We worked as a team." The blue-skinned surgeon from before pushed forward. "Impossible. A juvenile human could not complete such complex surgery. You must have made errors. Let us examine the patient." The cub blocked their path. "No, you not touch parent. You wanted to give up. You called humans weak. You wrong." Thex made a sound like wind through leaves. "Young one, step aside. We must verify the surgery was done correctly. If there are mistakes, your parent could still die." "Then let humans check," the cub said stubbornly. "I trust them." Hana tried to sit up again. This time Minji helped her, supporting her back. "Council Leader Thex," Hana said. Her voice was weak but clear. "Let me explain what happened here. Then you can judge us." Thex's many eyes focused on her. "Speak." "Veltar came to us specifically requesting human doctors," Hana began. "Do you know why?" "The patient filed a medical preference form." "It is their right," Thex acknowledged. "But do you know why?" Hana pressed. "I studied the medical scans carefully before surgery. Veltar's species has a rare cellular structure that responds uniquely to certain types of treatment. The structure is similar to human cells in key ways." The blue-skinned surgeon scoffed. "Similar?" "Humans and Veltar's species evolved on planets thousands of light years apart. There is no biological connection." "Not evolved connection," Hana agreed, "but functional similarity. Both our species developed similar stress response systems at the cellular level. It's called convergent evolution. When I treated Veltar, I didn't just follow the textbook procedures for their species. I adapted human medical techniques because the cellular response would be similar." Jiho suddenly understood. "That's why you were going so slowly during the surgery. You weren't being cautious because you were uncertain. You were being gentle because human tissues need gentle handling." "Exactly," Hana said. "Veltar's age cells needed the same careful touch we would use on an elderly human. The standard procedures for their species are designed for younger, more resilient individuals." Thex moved closer to Veltar's table. Its branch-like limbs extended sensors that scanned the patient. Data appeared on holographic screens. The council leader studied the information carefully. "The surgical work is excellent," Thex admitted slowly. "Better than excellent. The tissue integration is perfect. The seal on the blood vessels shows no weakness. This is master-level surgical work." The blue-skinned surgeon looked at the data in disbelief. "But a juvenile did this?" "I had help," Jiho said. He pointed at Hana. "Dr. Hana woke up during the critical phase. She guided me verbally through the most difficult parts." "While suffering from a neurological crisis?" another alien surgeon asked. "How?" Minji spoke up. "Humans have strong ability to function under extreme stress. Our adrenaline response can temporarily override pain and medical issues. It's one of our species' survival traits." "And something else," Daehyun added quietly. "Humans don't give up easily. Even when our bodies fail, our minds keep fighting." Dr. Hana's brain was misfiring, but her consciousness pushed through because someone needed her. Thex turned its many eyes to the secondary table where Hana lay. "You continued to practice medicine while your own body was in crisis?" "My patient needed me," Hana said simply. "Both my patients. Jiho is young and inexperienced, but he has excellent instincts. I could feel myself losing consciousness, but I fought to stay aware long enough to help him finish. When I finally woke up, he had succeeded." The cub made a proud chirping sound. "See? Humans strong. Humans don't quit. You call them fragile, but they most stubborn creatures in galaxy." One of the alien surgeons stepped forward. This one had gentle features and kind eyes. "May I ask a question?" When Thex nodded, the surgeon looked at Jiho. "Young one, you had never performed a surgery alone before today, correct?" "Correct," Jiho admitted. "This was my first time as lead surgeon. Were you frightened?" "Terrified," Jiho said honestly. "I wanted to run. I wanted to wait for experienced doctors. But Veltar didn't have time, and the cub believed in me. So I had to try." "And you succeeded despite your fear," the kind surgeon said thoughtfully. "This is interesting. Our species trained for years to overcome fear before attempting complex procedures. We believe fear makes hands unsteady and minds unclear. Human fear works differently," Hana explained. "Yes, it can paralyze us, but it can also sharpen our focus. We have a saying, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite the fear." Jiho was afraid, but he didn't let fear stop him. Thex made that wind through leaves sound again. "Your species is strange. You are physically weaker than most spacefaring races. Your lifespans are shorter. Your bodies are fragile, yet you accomplish things that seem impossible." "Because we try," Minji said. "We don't assume something is impossible just because it's difficult." The blue-skinned surgeon still looked skeptical. "Council leader, we should still examine both patients thoroughly. The human doctor claims to have discovered a cellular similarity between humans and Veltar's species. This should be verified." "Agreed," Thex said. "But the humans will assist in the examination. They performed the surgery. They understand the patient's condition best." Over the next hour, the alien surgeons conducted detailed scans and tests. They examined every aspect of both Veltar's and Hana's conditions. Jiho, Minji, and Daehyun explained everything they had done, every decision they had made, every adaptation they had created. The alien surgeons asked many questions. Some were hostile, looking for mistakes, but others were genuinely curious, wanting to understand how humans approached medicine. The kind surgeon with gentle eyes was particularly interested in how Minji had diagnosed Hana's neurological problem. "You said the cub helped you identify the issue?" the surgeon asked. "Yes," Minji explained. "The cub species has extremely sensitive smell. It detected the chemical imbalance in Dr. Hana's brain before our machines registered it. That gave us crucial extra seconds to respond. So you combined alien biological senses with human medical knowledge?" "We used every resource available," Minji said. "That's what humans do. We adapt, we improvise. We work with what we have." Finally, Thex called for silence. All the alien surgeons gathered around the council leader. They spoke in low voices, debating. The humans waited nervously. The cub stood guard, ready to defend its new pack if needed. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, Thex turned to face the humans. "We have reached a decision," the council leader announced. The room held its breath, waiting. "Council leader." Thex's many eyes glowed brighter. The massive tree-like being stood silent for a moment, letting the tension build. Finally, it spoke. "The medical procedures performed today were successful. Both patients are stable. The surgical work meets the highest standards of our medical council." Jiho felt his knees go weak with relief. Minji grabbed his arm to steady him. Daehyun let out a breath he didn't know he was holding, but Thex wasn't finished. "However, there are still serious concerns. Dr. Hana's condition remains unexplained. She could collapse again at any time. Until we understand what caused her neurological crisis, she is a risk to patients and herself." "I understand," Hana said from her table. "I'll submit to full medical evaluation." "You will do more than that," the blue-skinned surgeon said sharply. "You will be grounded from all surgical duties until cleared by the council. This is not negotiable." The cub growled at the harsh tone, but Hana placed a hand on its head, calming it. "That's fair," she agreed. "Patient safety comes first. As for the rest of your team," Thex continued, "you violated protocol by locking us out. You defied direct orders from council-authorized surgeons. You performed unauthorized procedures without supervision." "We saved 2 lives," Jiho said. He tried to keep his voice respectful, but anger crept in. "Isn't that what doctors are supposed to do? Following proper procedure saves lives in the long term," the blue-skinned surgeon retorted. "What if you had made a mistake? What if your juvenile confidence had killed a galactic dignitary?" "But I didn't make a mistake," Jiho shot back. "You assumed I would fail because I'm young and human. You didn't even give me a chance to try." "You are a child playing with lives," another surgeon said. "You got lucky this time. Next time you might not be." "Enough," Thex commanded. The room fell silent. "The young human speaks truth. We did assume failure. Our prejudice against human medical practices is documented. This incident forces us to confront that prejudice." The kind surgeon with gentle eyes stepped forward. "Council leader, may I speak?" Thex nodded. "I have reviewed all the data," the kind surgeon said. "The human team didn't just succeed, they innovated. They discovered a new approach to treating elderly members of Veltar's species. They combined cross-species knowledge with adaptive techniques. They used biological senses from one species to diagnose problems in another. This is revolutionary medical thinking." "Revolutionary or reckless?" the blue-skinned surgeon challenged. "Both," the kind surgeon admitted. "But perhaps recklessness is what medicine needs. We have become so rigid in our protocols that we've stopped learning. These humans showed us that rules are guidelines, not absolute laws." Veltar suddenly stirred on the surgical table. Everyone turned. The huge alien's eyes opened slowly. Those deep brown eyes looked around the room, confused at first, then focusing on the cub. "Little one?" Veltar's voice was weak but clear. "I'm alive?" The cub yipped with joy and carefully climbed onto the table, curling up beside its parent. Veltar's massive hand gently stroked the cub's fur. "The humans saved you, parent," the cub said proudly. "I told you they were special." Veltar's eyes found Hana and Jiho. "Thank you," the alien said. "I chose human doctors because I researched your species. I learned that humans have something we don't. You call it stubbornness. You refuse to accept death easily." "We fight for every patient," Hana said softly. "It's what we're taught from our first day in medical school. Never give up while there's still a chance." "That attitude is why I'm alive," Veltar said. "My own species' doctors told me my condition was too advanced. They said I should accept death with dignity. But I wasn't ready to die. I wanted to see my cub grow up. So I found doctors who don't accept the impossible." Thex made a thoughtful sound. "You knew the human doctors might fail?" "Yes," Veltar admitted. "But I knew they would try everything possible. That's all I wanted. A real fight for my life, not just acceptance of fate." The blue-skinned surgeon looked uncomfortable. "We would have fought for you too." "Would you?" Veltar asked gently. "Or would you have followed protocol that says elderly patients with my condition aren't worth the risk of experimental procedures?" Silence filled the room. The alien surgeons looked at each other. They all knew the answer. Protocol said to let patients like Veltar die peacefully rather than risk painful, expensive procedures that might fail. "I'm old," Veltar continued. "By our species standards, I've lived a full life. But humans measure life differently. They believe every moment matters. Every extra day with loved ones is worth fighting for." The cub chirped agreement and nuzzled closer to its parent. "This is getting sentimental," the blue-skinned surgeon said, though its voice was less harsh now. "Council leader, what is your decision?" Thex was quiet for a long moment. Then the massive being moved closer to Hana's table. "Human doctor, your condition concerns me. The scans show unusual patterns in your brain. Without proper diagnosis, you could die." "I know," Hana said. "I'll find specialists to help me understand what's happening." "That may not be necessary," Thex said. "I believe I know what you're suffering from. I've seen it before, but never in humans. It's called neural cascade syndrome. It happens when a brain is exposed to certain types of radiation common in space travel." Hana's eyes widened. "But humans have been traveling in space for decades. We've never documented this syndrome in our species." "Because your species hasn't been in deep space long enough," the kind surgeon explained. "Neural cascade syndrome takes years to develop. The first generation of human space travelers is just now reaching the point where symptoms appear." "Are you saying all human space travelers will get this?" Minji asked, worried. "Not all," Thex said. "Only those who spend extended time in certain regions of space. The radiation is not dangerous to most species, but human brain chemistry is particularly sensitive to it." "Is there a cure?" Jiho asked. "For other species, yes," the kind surgeon said. "But the treatment requires biological compounds that humans cannot metabolize. Your bodies would reject the medicine." Hana closed her eyes. "So I'm dying." "No," came a small voice. Everyone looked at the cub. The young creature had left its parent's side and moved to Hana's table. It reached into a pouch on its belt and pulled out a small vial filled with glowing blue liquid. "This is life serum," the cub said. "Made by my species. Very precious, very rare. It heals many things." Veltar tried to sit up. "Little one, no. That serum is for emergencies. It's illegal to share with other species. The penalties—" "I don't care about penalties," the cub said firmly. Its yellow eyes blazed with determination. "Humans saved you, parent. Now I save them. This is family debt, honor debt. But the council will punish you," Veltar protested. "Our laws about life serum are sacred. Sharing it with outsiders is forbidden." "Then let them punish me," the cub said. It held out the vial to Hana. "Take it, please." Thex's voice was grave. "Young one, do you understand what you're offering? If you give that serum to a human, you will be breaking one of your species' most important laws." Your family could be exiled. You could lose everything. The cub didn't hesitate. Humans gave me everything that matters. My parent alive, my family whole. What are laws compared to that? Laws protect society, the blue-skinned surgeon argued. They exist for good reasons. Life serum has never been tested on humans. It could kill her instead of healing her. Then, let me choose, Hana said. She reached out and took the vial from the cub's small hand. This brave young one offers me a chance at life. I accept that chance, whatever the risks. Council leader, the kind surgeon said urgently. We must stop this. The legal ramifications? No, Thex said firmly. I will not stop it. Everyone stared at the council leader in shock. What? The blue-skinned surgeon sputtered. You're allowing a sacred law to be broken? I am witnessing something more important than law, Thex said. Its many eyes glowed with an emotion none of the humans could identify. I am seeing true honor. This cub understands something we have forgotten. Laws exist to protect what matters most, and what matters most is not rules or protocols or traditions. What matters most is the bond between those who fight for each other. Veltar made a sound like a sob. Council leader, you are wise beyond measure. I am merely old enough to remember what wisdom truly means, Thex replied. Young cub, give the human your serum, and may it heal her as her kind healed your parent. The cub carefully opened the vial. The blue liquid inside glowed brighter. A sweet smell filled the room like flowers and rain mixed together. This might hurt, the cub warned. Life serum works by changing body at deep level, rewriting cells, fixing what is broken. I've hurt before, Hana said with a weak smile. I can handle it. Minji prepared a syringe. She drew the glowing liquid carefully. Everyone watched as she injected it into Hana's arm. The blue glow spread through Hana's veins, visible through her skin like lightning under the surface. Hana gasped. Her back arched. Her hands gripped the edges of the table. Jiho grabbed one hand, holding tight. The cub took her other hand in its small paws. Stay with us, Jiho said. Fight, doctor, like you taught me to fight. Not giving up. Hana forced the words out between clenched teeth. Never give up. The monitors above her table went wild. Numbers jumped and flashed. Alarms started beeping. Minji worked frantically to track all the changes happening in Hana's body. Her cellular structure is changing rapidly. The blue glow under Hana's skin pulsed like a heartbeat. It spread from her arm where Minji had injected the serum, traveling up to her shoulder, across her chest, and finally reaching her head. When the glow touched her brain, Hana's eyes opened wide. They were glowing the same blue color as the serum. Doctor, Jiho shouted in alarm, but Hana wasn't in pain anymore. Her face showed wonder instead of agony. The monitor stabilized. The wild numbers settled into steady, healthy patterns. The alarm stopped beeping. I can see it, Hana whispered. I can see everything. What do you mean? Minji asked nervously. The radiation damage. I can feel where it was. And I can feel the serum fixing it cell by cell. It's amazing. Hana's glowing eyes looked at the cub. Your species' medicine is incredible. The cub's tail wagged happily. You feel better? Better than I've felt in years, Hana said. She sat up slowly. Minji tried to push her back down, but Hana gently moved her hands away. I'm fine. More than fine. The serum didn't just heal the damage, it made me stronger. The kind surgeon studied the monitoring equipment with fascination. Remarkable. The serum has integrated with your human biology perfectly. It's adapted itself to work with your cells instead of just replacing them. That's impossible, the blue-skinned surgeon said. Life serum doesn't adapt. It overwrites native biology with our species' cellular structure. This human should be growing fur and claws right now. But Hana looked perfectly human. No fur, no claws. No physical changes at all except the fading blue glow in her veins. Thex moved closer, scanning Hana with its sensors. The serum has done something unexpected. It has learned from human biology instead of replacing it. This has never happened before. Why would it happen now? Another alien surgeon asked. Because humans are adaptable, Veltar said from the other table. The huge alien was sitting up now, looking stronger. Human biology is designed for change. Your species survives on a death-world planet, exposed to constant environmental challenges. Your cells are programmed to adapt to new situations. So the serum adapted to me instead of forcing me to adapt to it? Hana asked. Exactly, the kind surgeon said with excitement in its voice. This is groundbreaking. If we can study this interaction, we might be able to create adaptive medicines that work across species barriers. The blue-skinned surgeon still looked skeptical, but intrigued. We would need to run extensive tests, document everything, understand how this happened. I volunteer, Hana said immediately. If my experience can help develop better medicine, I want to contribute. As do I, Veltar added. The humans discovered something important about treating elderly members of my species. That knowledge should be shared. Thex made the wind through leaves sound that indicated deep thought. This incident has revealed much. Human medicine brings something valuable to the galaxy, not just knowledge or skill, but a different way of thinking, a refusal to accept limitations. We call it hope, Jiho said quietly. We hope that impossible things might become possible if we try hard enough. Hope. Thex repeated the word slowly. A simple concept with profound implications. The Council has been discussing human participation in galactic medicine for years. We have been hesitant because humans are so new to space, so physically fragile compared to other species, so young as a civilization. But, Minji prompted. But today has shown me that youth and fragility are not weaknesses, Thex continued. They are different kinds of strength. Young minds see possibilities that old minds dismiss. Fragile bodies develop strong spirits, and humans possess both in abundance. The council leader turned to address all the alien surgeons present. I am calling for a formal vote. Should humans be granted full medical authority in galactic healthcare? Should they be recognized as equals in our hospitals and medical stations? The blue-skinned surgeon hesitated. Council leader, this is highly irregular. Such a vote requires months of deliberation and review. We have done decades of deliberation, Thex said firmly. We have reviewed human medical practices thoroughly. We have found them lacking by our standards. But today showed me that our standards may be too rigid. I call for an immediate vote from all present. The alien surgeons looked at each other nervously. This was unprecedented. Decisions like this weren't made quickly or emotionally. They required careful analysis and political consideration. But Thex was the council leader. Its authority was absolute in medical matters. I vote yes, the kind surgeon said immediately. Humans have proven their worth today. They should be welcomed as full partners in galactic medicine. A long pause followed. Then another surgeon, one who had been silent until now, spoke. I also vote yes. The humans' discovery about cellular similarities could save countless lives. We would be fools to ignore such valuable contributions. One by one, the alien surgeons voted. Some voted yes enthusiastically, some voted yes reluctantly. The blue-skinned surgeon was the last to vote. I vote no, it said flatly. One successful surgery does not prove readiness for galactic responsibility. Humans are still too unpredictable, too emotional, too human. Jiho interrupted. Yes, we are. We're emotional and unpredictable. We get scared and make mistakes. But we also care deeply about our patients. We fight for every life, and we don't give up just because something is difficult. The blue-skinned surgeon stared at him. You are young and naive. You will learn that medicine requires cold logic, not warm feelings. Maybe, Jiho admitted, but I'd rather be young and naive than old and bitter. I'd rather care too much than not enough, and I'd rather try and fail than never try at all. Hana smiled proudly at her student. Well said, Jiho. Thex raised its branch-like limbs. The vote is complete. 13 in favor, 1 opposed. Humans are hereby granted full medical authority in galactic healthcare. This decision will be submitted to the full council, but as emergency council leader, I have the power to make it effective immediately. The room erupted in noise. Some alien surgeons congratulated the humans. Others argued with each other about the implications. The blue-skinned surgeon stormed out, clearly angry, but none of that mattered to Jiho. He felt like he could float away with joy. They had done it. Not just saved 2 lives, but changed the future for all human doctors in space. Minji hugged Daehyun. Both of them were crying happy tears. The cub howled with victory, a sound so joyful that it made everyone smile despite the chaos. Veltar carefully climbed off the surgical table. The huge alien moved slowly, still weak from surgery but determined. It walked to where Hana sat and knelt down, bringing its massive head level with hers. "You saved my life," Veltar said. "By our people's tradition, I owe you a life debt. I am yours to command." "You owe me nothing," Hana said gently. "We're doctors. Saving lives is what we do." "Exactly," Veltar said. "And that is why you are worthy of honor. You ask for nothing in return for your service. You simply serve because it is right." The huge alien reached into a pouch and pulled out a medallion on a chain. The metal was silver blue and carved with intricate symbols. "This is the mark of clankin. It means you are family to my people. Anywhere our species exists, you will be welcomed, protected, and honored." Veltar placed the medallion around Hana's neck. Then the alien did the same for Jiho, Minji, and Daehyun, producing medallions for each of them. "We are small in number," Veltar said, "but we are scattered across many worlds. This mark will open doors that are normally closed. It will bring you allies when you need them, and it will remind everyone that you are not alone." The cub chirped proudly. "Now you are really pack. Forever family." Over the next few days, word of what happened spread throughout the Mercy Dawn and beyond. The story grew with each telling. Some versions were exaggerated, making the humans sound like superhero doctors who could heal anything. Other versions were more critical, calling the incident a dangerous precedent, but the facts remained clear. Human doctors had saved a galactic dignitary and proven their worth under extreme pressure. The medical council's vote stood. Humans were now equals in galactic healthcare. Requests started coming in immediately. Other alien species wanted to study the cellular similarities Hana had discovered. Some wanted human doctors to work on cases that traditional approaches had failed to solve. Others simply wanted to learn these new adaptive techniques. The Mercy Dawn suddenly became the busiest hospital ship in the sector. Human medical staff who had been working in minor support roles were now being asked to lead complex surgeries. Medical schools across human space reported record applications from students who wanted to become space doctors. Hana recovered fully from her neurological crisis. The life serum had permanently cured the radiation damage and even protected her from future exposure. She became the subject of intensive study, helping scientists understand how humans could adapt alien medicine for their own use. The cub, whose name they learned was Rix, refused to leave. It stayed on the Mercy Dawn, declaring itself the official guardian of its human clan kin. Veltar supported this decision, knowing the cub would learn valuable lessons from the humans. Rix became something of a mascot for the medical bay. The young alien had a gift for sensing illness before machines could detect it. Its keen nose could smell chemical imbalances, infections, and other problems. "Dr. Stade,"